that we could, that we could find a time to do this and to connect. And so I'm Molly, and then I have somebody here visiting me. Their name is Lexi.
Hi, Lexci Lust here. I'm from Victoria and Vancouver, Canada. I've been in the industry since 2011, when I was the ripe age of 18 years old.
Wow,
And
yeah.
that was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And that was during the oil boom, during back page times,
Oh, the good old days, back
the
page.
good old days when you could just throw up one picture and a cute little
Literally.
line of "Hi, I'm ready," and you're
Ugh,
booked
I know.
like 7, 8 clients a day.
I know. It's wild.
Yeah,
It was wild. So how
good
many years
time.
have you been doing this for?
This is my 15th year.
Okay, wow. Yeah, we've been in the
Hmm.
industry around the same time. I'm a little bit older than you. I didn't start quite that young. I was in like my early 20s. And I think what we mostly are going to talk about today is like fatness within sex work, and how that can sometimes be fetishized, how that's seen by clients, by other workers, by like ourselves. And so, yeah, I guess maybe you can share a little bit more about you, like what kind of work do you do,
Mhm.
maybe like how you describe your body or how clients describe your body, and if there's things that like you want folks to like know like right off the bat about you.
Sure. So I've just been doing full service sex work since 2011. I've thrown in a few years of cam work, like live cam modeling, as well as content creation on OnlyFans. But I mostly focus on full service in person work. That's where I thrive the most because I just like meeting new people, and it's hard feeling sexy when you're just looking at a computer screen, you know? So,
Totally,
yeah.
totally.
Um, the way I would describe my body is I've kind of branded it to say I have a Renaissance body. So based on like Renaissance paintings or marble statues, that's kind of my body type. Um, and clients, I don't think I've ever had a client describe my body in a one encompassing term.
Sure.
Um, they've said I'm beautiful. They love my curves. They love my ass. And that is, kind of where the fetishization comes in. But at the same time, I have done duos with plenty of other providers who are of different body types. The type that you would describe as spinner, super
Sure.
thin. I've seen supersized BBWs as well. And I will say that all women are fetishized under patriarchy. So it doesn't
Totally.
matter,
No,
yeah, what
totally.
your body is.
No, that's very true. The spinner term is so weird. When I first saw it, I was like, is it because they like want in my mind like that they want somebody that they can like spin around like on them? Like I don't really I like that's where I don't really totally get some of these terms like the hobbyist language.
Yeah. Well, back in the Backpage days, it was very censored. You couldn't say a lot of terms on Backpage for some reason. You weren't allowed to say like blowjob
Right, so it's
or
French.
common mouth. So everything was very acronymized. And the
Definitely.
term
BBBJ. Yes.
yeah, all of that. And the term spinner, I think, really just does come from like, the sit and spin on the dick type
Yeah, that's what
situation.
yeah, I
Um,
think so too.
and
Yeah.
it's just another way of dehumanizing women, whether we are thin or big or doesn't matter. That's just how women are treated under patriarchy. And in sex work, I've used that kind of mindset to build a brand around the male gaze, but also at the same time really solidifying my brand in the fact that I'm very strong with my boundaries and I'm very blunt and I'm very verbal and I run my own business, so I can run it however I want. I can say whatever I want to whoever I want. So if they come at me rude, I will serve it back. And I find that in our society, women aren't allowed or given the space to be quote unquote, blunt or rude or whatever, because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we're seen as undesirable. But
Totally.
because of that,
Especially being fat, it's like an extra
mm,
layer, I think,
yeah,
too.
yeah, it's like the angry fat,
Yes.
whore or whatever, right?
Right.
But at the same
Yes.
time, at like, so we're only allowed to be soft and sweet and sensual and gentle. But at the end of it all, sex work aside, we are told to sit and be quiet and be pretty, and that's how we're controlled, right? So if I'm running my own
Yeah.
business, I'm not going to let anybody control me or what I do or how I feel about myself. And that really comes from my childhood. My mom, my mom raised me as a activist feminist,
Oh,
homeschooled,
nice.
pagan, very opinionated. I was going to Pride from an early age. I was going to protests from an early age. My mom very much fought in the 80s and 90s for equal pay and women's rights, and she was labeled as a loudmouth feminist. And I really took that and ran because I saw that even if she was loud and disruptive to our society or whatever, at the end of the day, she got shit done.
Sure.
And
Yeah. No,
people
that's
respected
amazing. That's
her, right?
awesome.
She also raised me in a pagan way. That means like the Mother Earth. We gave
Right.
thanks to the earth rather than God as a patriarchal man in the sky. And because of that, I never really grew up with much self-esteem issues when it came to my body. Because I was taught early on that like a woman's body brings life. So it's sacred, and whatever it looks like, it goes through so much more in pain and transformation and anything than a man could ever imagine.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
so I literally at this point I'm past feminism. I'm now a misandrist because I don't think that women and men are equal. I think women are better than men. And I will never shut
Yeah.
up about that, even if it ruins, a certain men's opinion of me, and they don't want to book me as a client, or like they don't want to be my client. I'm good with that. It
Yeah. No, I was just talking
filters
about
them.
this similar thing with a friend who is a retired sex worker about how, how much, because I live in Portland and, there's a lot of political, I'm like hardcore leftist anarchist stuff. And there's a lot of like political stuff going on here. And, how much, is marketable to share on client facing platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really care about that. And I know that there is privilege there, that there's other folks that like don't, that they more so
For
want their
sure.
brand to be like, I'm a sweet escape and like I'm
Mm-hmm.
fun and cute and
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not going to talk about all the gross things going on in the world.
Yeah.
And
And
I
there
do
is always
sometimes
like,
think about that.
yeah, there's a time and a place as well to talk about it with your clients.
Right.
But I think especially in this day and age, publicly taking a stand on the right side of history is important right now.
Agreed.
And
For sure.
I personally don't want to have sex with anyone who votes against my safety.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially right now with everything going on.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yes, I agree that like it's not necessary to be like sucking a dude's dick and then being like, oh, and by the way, like,
Yeah.
right, there are definitely the right time and place. I think
Yeah.
on our social media, it's like whatever. And like a lot of them aren't even on our social media, or they're just looking at the tit pics and scrolling.
Absolutely, and that's fine, and I don't need to talk about politics with everybody, but if you're going to come at me with your viewpoint, I will never hesitate to let you know that, well, actually, when you vote for your viewpoints, they're actually directly harming me and my community. And not only the sex worker community, the LGBTQ community, the trans
Yeah.
community, the colored community, on and on and on, the indigenous community. The second that I find that out about somebody, I will be distancing myself, and I'll let you know why. Because
Right.
I really do believe that in this day and age, it's important. It's really important
Yeah.
to let to stand on the right side of history, because history is being made right now, and we're going to look back on the history books and be like, okay, well, that was the right side and this is the wrong side, and we can all have our opinions, but I think opinions go out the door. The right to an opinion goes out the door when you're harming somebody.
Definitely. No, definitely. And then there's times where there's like a regular I had for a while where he would like make a comment sometimes like, I know you and I, we have different political views, but, we don't have to talk about that. But I always thought it was funny that he would even bring that up, like, just even mentioning like, I know that like, we think differently politically, but like we can still fuck and ha ha ha. But no, I mean, I know that a lot of my clients, I think this also goes to like, the classism and socioeconomic stuff. Like most of my clients are like 50-year-old men,
Right.
generally white men and older, that can like afford to spend hundreds of dollars on companionship, where, because of that, a lot of them are maybe a little bit more conservative or
Hmm.
liberal, so to speak,
Yeah.
Um,
And I think
so
that really
no,
goes
it is
to
interesting.
show the difference between the United States and Canada, because most of my clients are very liberal, and I think it's because of where I live in Canada as well. Like if I was in Alberta or Ontario, it'd be a little bit different because they're very conservative there. Like Alberta is trying to do the whole separatist thing, which is just ridiculous. They're trying to separate from Canada because they're very conservative and they have all these values. But I'm
Oh
in
God.
British Columbia, and British Columbia is very much like we are labeled the like what do they say, little like frou-frou liberal hippies
Okay.
of Canada,
Okay.
right? We're all pot smoking hippies, free love hippies. So because of that, the majority of my clients, actually all of them, are either queer, a minority, or blue collar. And I find that because of that, we're very similar in morals and political beliefs. And I'm also very verbal online, and so if like somebody who doesn't align with my morals is trying to book me, they
Yeah.
don't, they wouldn't, like, I'm hoping that they wouldn't because of how verbal I
Right.
am, right? And if they do, then hey, we're up for a debate, babe, and I'm okay with letting you know how I feel about stuff, so um
Totally.
but not to derail the conversation. So my grandmother was 10 to 16 during World War II, and she lived in England during that time.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have had lots of stories, firsthand accounts of World War II and all of that uh, kind of otherism of,
Yeah.
and so right now I'm seeing a lot of parallels happening in the United States,
Oh,
and
a
and
hundred
because of that,
percent.
it is trickling into Canada, because we are so close and very similar, but the amount of people who are, saying, oh, no, 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 like you can go away with that, is like way more. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy being where I
Yeah.
am. It's just like, just if things do get worse, I just want to be on the right side of history when it comes down to it.
No,
But
I
yeah.
hear you. Like there's a lot. I'm Jewish, not like super practicing religious,
Hmm.
but I was raised Jewish and I have a
Yeah.
lot of family members that were like, yes, in the Holocaust and stuff like that. And yeah, it is, there's a ton of parallels. I mean, like it's like Gestapo vibes up in here in some parts of the country. It's very scary and very
Yep.
disconcerting. And right, it's not just like it's not something that I feel like it's really acceptable to turn a blind eye to. Like it's kind of too much of a big deal right now.
Hmm.
And I mean, I think like, right, if somebody found me on Tryst, like my Tryst is pretty innocuous and like not very political. Like I'm not really talking about politics on there,
Yeah.
but
It's
on other
mostly social.
places, right? Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And so something I'm curious about, and this is like sort of a different topic, but like with sex work and like body stuff, do you feel like, size like being outside of potential conventional body standards, even though I do think that like Renaissance bodies can also be conventional body,
Hmm.
beauty stuff, but do you think that like having maybe a different size body, especially now with everything being so like thin, is really
Hmm.
in? Do you find it being like a barrier, like more neutral or an advantage, or like what are your thoughts around that type of stuff, especially with the current climate with like Ozempic everywhere and all of that
Hmm.
shit?
Yeah. Well, I think that the stereotypical patriarchy society puts a lot of importance on like young, thin, white bodies. And it's been like that for, I'd say since the 60s, or even before that with oh, what's her name? Dorothy, Judy Garland.
Oh
All
yeah.
of that, like old Hollywood, but that's really rooted, and we see this now with the release of the Epstein files, that it's rooted in pedophilic history. So I really don't care if a man only wants to book thin, young, white providers, because it's
Right.
so boring. It's so typical. And I'm not saying that
It is
there's no
typical.
room for the thin white providers. There is absolutely
Of
room for
course.
everybody in sex work. I'm just saying it's very easy to advertise that type of body. It's very easy to brand, when you have a body or a look, or an identity that is kind of typically outside of the norm, it takes a little bit more nuance to advertise yourself, a little bit
Yeah.
more, branding and marketing to get yourself out there. So when it comes down to feeling like I've had barriers, I wouldn't say I have, because uh, I've always been into marketing and branding, so I just find a way to spin it. My branding identity is not based on my body at all or my curviness. It's based on two things. One is vulgar, and that's I have no gag reflex, so I'm the deep throat pie queen, or whatever they like to call me.
Nice. Yes.
The throat goat, that's what it is. And then the other one is that I am an inclusive provider. So I see a lot of queer clients, a lot of trans clients, a lot of couples, a lot of solo women. And so I really just lean into that. I also
Oh, that's
brand,
amazing. I love that.
thank you. I also brand that I'm a writer, which I am. I have been published 8 times in a local newspaper in Vancouver called the Georgia Straight. And I've also been published an interview. I was interviewed by Trist, then, and it's on the website as well, on their blog. So I really lean into the writer thing. I'm also a mentor for other sex workers because I've been in this industry for 15 years. So I try and pass on
Yeah.
a lot of my experience and branding knowledge and niche marketing knowledge, especially for providers who aren't necessarily, straight sized or anything like that. So I have a lot of different mentees. Like one, she would be considered supersized BBW. Another one who is 6'1" without heels on, and
Oh
so
wow.
and
Dang.
this is like a cis woman, right? And so I've been able to, and I have trans mentees, I've had male mentees, I've had non-binary with top surgery done, um and I've been able to successfully help them market themselves in a niche way that makes them desirable because they're different. And because of the patriarchy, it really limits men's ability to be public with their desires, because they have to have a perfect image for other men. So when they're walking down the street and they have
Yeah.
that arm candy has to be straight sized, young,
Right.
conventionally attractive,
Yep.
feminine, that kind of look, right? And
Yeah.
so a lot of the niche providers, like fat or trans or black even, or super tattooed or whatever else, they usually aren't taken out on like social dates and stuff, and that's because of the
Oh, right. I mean,
you
it
know
also goes back to like real, just like dating outside of sex work. I feel like
mhm
it goes to that where like,
mhm
men might feel a certain way about dating a fat woman and being
yeah,
seen in public. I've had
even
so many clients say shit like that. Like,
it's
if my
so true.
friends knew that I was into fat women, like
Mhm.
they wouldn't believe me,
Yeah.
like blah, blah,
But
blah.
meanwhile, their friends
Right.
are into fat women, but
Right.
neither of them can actually talk about it because
No.
of the crippling pressure that they have put themselves in their own built world. They built
Yep.
it themselves,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why it's really important that when feminists are talking about dismantling patriarchy. It's for the good of everyone.
Yes,
Because
it
if
really is.
men,
No.
you can't be open about with your own best friend that you say is your best friend. You can't be open about your desires. You can't be open about who you really are with them. That is sad. That's really sad and lonely, and that's the root of the epidemic, of the
Yeah,
loneliness epidemic, is the fact that you can't be vulnerable, you can't be genuine, you can't be yourselves. And that is
I
where I think
know.
sex work comes in, because we see a lot of men who aren't able to be soft or aren't able to open up to anybody in their lives. I've heard many times over and over, like, oh, well, I'd never be able to talk to my friends about this ever. I'm like, babe, your friends are seeing me. I promise you. Like, I promise you.
I know. I
Your
know.
married friends, your divorced friends, your single friends, they're all, every single one of them, And it
Yeah,
just
no, it's
really,
true.
and that, with the whole, the pressure of the society that we live in for them is so crippling that it's detrimental to growth. They are in an
Yeah,
erected development um state, and it's really sad to see. It really is. So when I have
it
clients
is.
who are
It
happy to
is.
take me out on dates and wine and dine me and on and on and on, I really am, like, obviously thankful, but I'm also kind of sad, because I have all of my other, niche friends who haven't
Yeah.
experienced it because of that whole, oh, well, it can't be seen. It can't be seen by other men. I need approval from other men.
And it's so funny too because it's like, going back to the whole stuff about like the obsession with youth and like pedophilia. It's like they
Hmm.
don't think that looks weird, like a 70-year-old man and like
Hmm.
having a 19-year-old on, like,
Hmm.
like that's very obvious. Or like that looks more sketchy or
Absolutely.
questionable than you just being with a fat woman. Like, but like, of course,
Absolutely.
they don't think of it like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's
because
the
there's times, yeah, no.
when I was younger, when I first started in sex work, I was seeing older clients. They were booking me
Of
more.
course.
And now I see clients the same age as me or a little older,
It's so
right?
interesting with that. Like it must be some pedophilia thing. When I was younger, like the
Yeah.
earliest I started was like 21. I had two sugar daddies who, once I turned 25, they were both in their 70s and they said that I was too old for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it happens all the time. Like, I had one mentee who I told her, you have to lie about your age, but the opposite way. Because she was 19. I was like, babe, please, can you say that you're 21, 22? She's like, but I'm not. I'm like, it doesn't matter. You're going to get targeted fast. And then you're going to get, like, with my coaching, I did show her some red flags of communication and what to watch out for, manipulation and stuff like that. But in general, she would be getting the clients that she didn't necessarily align with. And that was just based on age. You put 19 up there on your ad, you're targeted immediately.
Oh yeah, no, one of my closest friends, they're non-binary and they started when they were 19 and marketed as a cis girl back then. But they told me, I mean, cuz also like they never really wore makeup and they had a very young looking face where they would have so many men be like, it's okay if you're actually under 18, like I won't tell anybody, like just all of that
Hmm.
type of shit. Or like, oh, you look just like my granddaughter, like that type of
Hmm.
stuff where
Oh, yeah.
it's, I mean, we have a hobby board here, you probably heard of it, right? I think so. In the Pacific Northwest we have
Is
like
it,
a,
is it start with a T?
yeah, that one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's this
We
guy
have
that
one,
regularly
we
like
have
posts
one
that
that,
he's looking.
sorry.
No, you're
Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
That he's like regularly posting how he's looking for, because it's different in the state of Washington and state of Oregon, that he's looking for age of consent providers. Where I'm just like,
Wow.
can you use like more disgusting language?
Yeah. So is that 16?
I think in Washington it's either 16 or 17.
Okay, because in Canada it's 16, which I just. But the thing is about the
Yeah,
one in
16 in
Canada,
Washington. And also, like, can you be I guess it's illegal, so it's whatever, but I'm like, a 16-year-old hooker, like, that just doesn't sit right with me.
it doesn't. It's not. That isn't legal, because it's like, I'm pretty sure in the States you have to be 21 to be illegal. Even then, sex work isn't legal, so it doesn't matter, I guess.
Right, unless you're like a brothel in Nevada type of thing.
Right. Yeah. That then you have to be 21. Yeah, in Canada, the age of consent is 16, but it's only within 2 years. So you can't be
Okay.
19 years old. You can't be 19 and dating a 16-year-old. But
But you could be like 16 and 17 or whatever,
yeah,
sure.
but if it's a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, then there's some issues. 18-year-old, there's an issue there. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I've noticed as I've gotten older, the clients have gotten younger.
Yeah, it shifts. It shifts. Like I'm in
Yeah.
my mid 30s now, and I'm like technically a MILF, I guess. I mean, I'm a dog MILF. I have two dog children,
Right.
and yes, as I've like when I left my 20s and enter my 30s, the clientele did shift where I started getting more dudes that like maybe more like saw me as like mommy or something or a MILF, and also some guys who thought that I was too young in my 20s. Like there was a few men who were
Hmm.
like, "Oh, I didn't want to see you when you were in your 20s because you're too close to my kid's age." And so
Hmm.
now that you're like in your 30s, I like feel better seeing you. So it's kind of
Right, but
like
I'm
it's shifted in
still,
a few
but I'm,
ways.
but I'm still close to your kid's age.
Right, I'm still close but not too close.
Okay.
Not too close.
Yeah.
Like close enough that they can tell themselves it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
So I wanted to just talk about maybe the being fat affecting price and market.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the stereotypical patriarchy puts the importance on the thin providers, um, I have noticed, especially in my community, that the larger providers, even from like size 8 and up,
Which is
are,
just that's wild. That's
which is
like
wild.
that's
Like
so
that's a
wild.
good
God.
day. That would be a good day. But like even yeah, from like size 8, 10 and up, I've noticed are priced lower. But there are a few of us who have kind of gotten together and just priced ourselves at the same as our peers who are like at our level, like been doing it for as long as you have the same amount of reviews, on and on and on, but they're thin. They're considered thin providers. And we've all priced ourselves the same, to just basically let the clients know that it's like you're paying for experience, you're paying
And
for
time.
time, you're paying for expertise, you're paying for experience. Like I've been doing this for 15 years and I
Yeah.
have over 60 reviews on my local review site, which is starts with P, but it rhymes with yours.
Right.
Um, and all 60 of my reviews are positive. I don't have any negative reviews, not one. Not one. Except for one time somebody was like, "Oh, she's hard to get a hold of." I'm like, well, because probably you're not texting me properly.
Right. You're
Like,
not introducing yourself. You're not like
but
doing the things that you're supposed to be doing.
oh my goodness. So I
No, I
based
mean I
off
think
of
that is
that,
great. I love that. I think it's hard. I think that you have to like I think there's a lot of things at play because there's definitely providers here that are larger, like size 8, 10 or bigger that
mhm.
are priced much lower than
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah, and I really wish that I'm never going to tell someone what to charge, including my mentees. I never do. I let them know what the average in the market is of like, the average amount that I see when I'm scrolling through the ads. Um but that's it. That's all I do
Yeah.
because I can't tell you what to charge because it has to feel right for you. But at the end of the day, we are in demand. It's the
Yeah.
whole break it down to the
Yes.
supply and demand situation. We throw an ad up and the guy texts us or emails us, then they're the ones with the need. We're the ones with the supply, right? We
Yes.
get to dictate how we are accessed. And it's the
Yeah.
same as, I mean, I'm not trying to bring us down to a commodity, but we are selling, we are a business. So we're selling an experience, we're selling time. And that in itself is a commodity. So you really have to break it down to the fact that we are in demand. We are the supply. They have the demand. They have
Yes.
the need.
Yes.
So really, if you're putting yourself at a low, like not a lower average rate, I'm talking about like low, and you're like, oh, babe, no. That type of low, I'm like, I know that those predatory men are sniffing you out as desperate, and they will try and push every
I know.
boundary
It's so
and everything.
hard.
I'm not saying you have to go at the top of the rate. A good average meeting the other providers in your area that are thin, you meet that rate and you stick with it, and you stick with consistency in your advertising. You continue to reward your regulars who come and see you. You get regular photo shoots done. Maybe you do a website. All of that goes towards credibility, and that is regardless of size, of type, of
Right,
body type,
definitely.
of
Yeah.
gender, of whatever, right? And I've said this too, because in the male side of sex work, it's very different than the women's side, like the gay
Yes,
side, right?
absolutely. Oh yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of them are seen as like, oh, okay, well, they just want to, they're horny and they want to hook up.
Right.
So they don't care what they're paid, right? And there's a lot of negotiation, there's a lot of haggling that goes on. And I had this one male friend, who I helped become, like, he basically got into the industry. I told him he should. I was like, you have a nice dick in your buy. You should go do this.
Yes.
So he got into it, and I helped him.
God, I wish we had someone like that in Portland. It's like so hard to find that. I'm like, why?
I know, and that's why he's doing really well, because he's the only one on the island. And I said to him, I said, typically, if I am a civilian as a woman, right, as a horny woman, and I'm scrolling a site for male escorts, and I was gonna hire one, I am not gonna click on that $140 an hour guy. There's no fucking way. There's no way. Because how good is he gonna be? I don't want to waste my money and him,
Right.
be a shitty lay. I'm going to go
sure.
for the higher rated ones. So I said to him, like, set your rate at higher, like, not ridiculous, like $1,000 an hour, but like a good amount that matches the female providers.
Yeah.
I promise you. And then, and that shows quality. That shows that you value your time, you value their time, you're going to put in the work because they're putting down multiple hundreds of dollars.
Right.
And then from there, consistency, and boom, he is one of the most booked male providers in BC right now, I'd say.
Wow, that's great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, it is really hard. Like, there's also so many layers, like... Oh yeah, no, definitely. But there's so many layers to that. I mean, there's someone I know here, and she's fat and also a woman of color. So I feel like it's just things like that that make it more difficult, because it's like, I think there's a combination of, racism and the patriarchy. And then also it's like, you probably just feel like, oh, well, I'm getting booked at this rate, so like, why? I know a lot of people, like, they're like, oh, like, things are working for me, I'm not going to fuck things up, I don't want to rock the boat. Like, I know somebody who's 40 and she markets herself as 30 because she's like, oh, well, it's working for me. And I'm like, okay, at some point I think people get kind of stagnant, or they like don't want to change something.
Yeah.
But I do think it is like, people should try to like raise their rates a little bit, because I do agree, they'll either smell the desperation, or they'll think that you're like, that they can get away with more, like, push boundaries.
Yeah, like that you want, that you're willing to do more for the money. I think that if regular jobs give you raises and inflation has happened, then sex workers also should raise their rates. But then again, I can't tell you how to do your job. But yeah, the whole advertising in a stuck way comes from scarcity mindset, and scarcity
100%.
mindset doesn't ever breed success or growth or progress. Sorry, my cat is trying to get the treats.
Oh, no, you're fine.
No,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It
so,
really
and
does
I
not.
tell my mentees this all the time, that I had this one, bless her heart, she was a sugar baby before, and I don't know if you know, but it's very well known that sugar babies are paid ridiculously low.
Yes.
For their time, and they're
good old
expected
seeking.
to. Yeah. So she was getting $500 for an overnight.
Oh God, I know. I hate that shit. It's awful.
And they're expecting bear, and they're
Of
expecting,
course.
you know, the amount of texting before and after and all of this emotional and everything else. And I said to her, I was like, you could get way more, like quadruple the amount
Yes.
for your
Yes.
overnight if you were, you know, actually setting your boundaries and setting your rate and time beforehand, and not letting these guys just be like, okay, well, I'll pay you after, I'll pay you, blah blah blah. No, babe, you got to set your boundaries, right? And she's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm just afraid that if I, you know, I won't get booked and stuff and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, the second that you cut him out, you will get 2 3 more to replace him that are better.
Yes. Yes, that's one thing is
But
that about this
it's the
industry
fear.
is there's no shortage of men that want to pay for sex.
No. No. And it's just about making yourself desirable, not specifically in a like a physical body sense. Make yourself desirable in an experience sense, because I find a lot of people, not just men, but a lot of people are visual
Yes.
fantasy kind of people. So
Yes.
you have to what am I trying to say? You have to weave a tale in your advertising of how you're going to make them feel and how they're going to feel after they leave spending time with you,
Oh
and
yeah, it's
what
like
you're going to do
using
and
like
all of that.
branding and marketing as like a story, you know?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah.
And I find a lot of sex workers, especially the older, not older ones, but the ones who've been around for a bit before social media, they aren't understanding that it's shifted. Our industry has shifted in the sense that we aren't just selling services anymore. We're not just selling our bodies in
Right.
on
Right.
for the time
They also want to know
anymore.
us and like our
Yeah.
personality and what we're
Yeah.
into.
We
Yeah.
really are influencers at that point. And
Yes, like we're like
I
micro
hate to
celebrities
say
for
it,
sure.
yeah. And I hate to say it, but it's true, right? So we have built a persona that is part of me, of my real self, for sure, but it's polished. It's a little bit more user friendly because
Right.
I can be a bitch sometimes. And it's also a little bit more palatable, but it's also a fantasy at the same time. I'm a an experience. It's like the Love Hotel or the maid cafes in
Right.
Japan,
Right.
right? Where
Right.
they're just there to make you have a little good time, to make you feel good, right?
And it
And
is a fantasy. It really, and
yeah,
I think it needs to be like, I've had so many guys that are like, I'm in love with you. I wish we could date.
mm-hmm,
And I try to tell
mm-hmm,
them, like, hey, like, I'm an actual awful girlfriend, but like,
yeah,
I'm a great, you know, pay by the hour, short time, part time girlfriend. But like,
yeah,
you know, I was like, you don't want to know me in that way. Cause it's
yes, you
true.
don't,
They
yeah,
wouldn't get what they get for free.
mm-hmm,
Like, they don't,
no,
sometimes they get confused by that. You're
yeah.
getting me, right, this polished, great, energetic, enthusiastic, because you're paying
Everything
me.
that you need. It's everything that you need, right? But at
Right.
the end of the day, when if me and a client were really in a relationship, they wouldn't get everything that they need. Because they would have to
No.
give me what I need as well.
Right.
And
Yes.
my needs aren't just monetary and manners and basic decent respect in a relationship. My needs are monumentally more, way more than that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So,
Definitely.
and a lot of men don't understand that when it comes to companionship, but also in real life. When I tell, you know, potential dates that I'm a sex worker, you know, the stigma of all of that aside, they
I
really
know.
think that because I'm a sex worker, like the stigma of me seeing other clients aside, me in person, they really think that everything is going to be like fun and daisies and sex and all of that stuff, because that's what they expect.
Right.
But when, as an actual person, at the end of the day, like, no, I'm ugly and I'm mean
I'm
and
tired.
I'm tired and I'm bitchy and I'm gonna tell you, you know. But I'm also kind of like that with my clients too. They get the GFE, they get the girlfriend experience. I
Right. And
will
I think
say that.
sometimes once we have a flow with them, there's like, you know, we can feel a little
The
less
report.
polished, but it's
Yeah.
still not what it would be like if they were
No.
seeing us for
If
free, you
they
know.
knew how I really felt, I'd be like, babe, you're lucky that I'm available for pay at this point because, like, I'm gay. Like, I don't think you
Right, and
understand.
that's one thing. I mean, I feel like that's like be a whole different episode of conversation. How many of us are gay? Like how
Many are straight
queer
for
a
pay.
lot of
Yep.
yes, it's so real. I
I'll
think to an
tell you.
extent they think it's hot, but I think they
Oh
don't
yeah.
understand how gay a lot of us truly
Yeah, no,
are.
they think it's hot because of that whole trope of like, oh, well, I could change a lesbian. I could turn her. I could turn her. You know,
Oh yeah, like we both
my
like
dick is
licking pussy, and yeah.
all powerful dick. I can turn that lesbian. So you know that whole fantasy and that Hollywood movie fantasy, right? And I get it. I understand it. It's like kind of like a ego boost, little power play situation. But
Totally.
yeah, I could probably say that in my network of sex workers in Canada, maybe like 800 of us. I'd say 95% are queer.
Yeah. Same, same.
Not
Same here.
100% gay, but
Yes, but
queer.
like bi or
Yeah,
like
and
non-binary or
the amount of
something.
us who have partners who are not cis straight men
Right.
are
Right, for
way
sure.
more. I don't think I know anyone who's actually married to a cis man. No. The ones who
Yeah,
are
it's
in
not that common.
relationships, the ones that are in relationships are in with women or non-binary or mostly women. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of men don't understand that, and they'll be like, oh well, how does your husband feel about it? How does your boyfriend feel about this? How does your dad feel about this? Promise you they're great because I'm happy, man. Like I'm
Yeah,
good.
like they're fine. Like my
Yeah.
dad's dead. And then and then
Yeah.
like as far as the people I date, I mean, they can suck it.
Yeah.
I'm like ethically non-monogamous, as a lot of people
Mm.
here in Portland and probably in the world are. So I, multiple partners at
Mhm.
different times of my life, but like
Same.
I generally try to find folks that are cool with sex work, or I've dated sex workers themselves, because
Same.
that
Me
can
too.
just be so much
It
easier in a
makes
lot of
sense.
ways.
Yeah.
It does. You
Yeah.
don't have to do all that labor of like,
Making
explaining
sure
this and
they're
that.
good. Are you happy the fact that a man came on my tits today? Is that okay for you?
Or just like the weird hygiene shit. Like I dated this one
That's,
person who
yeah.
was so weird about like, you showered, right? And I'm like, yes, I fucking showered. And
Yeah.
it's like, this wasn't a man. This was like a,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's just like the whole like, oh, I don't want to like smell another like human
Yeah.
on you or in you or
But
whatever. It's like showers exist.
that goes towards the stigma of that sex workers are
It's
dirty,
dirty.
or
It's
that
dirty.
like the whole clients wanting that the first booking of the day thing. It's like our
Ugh,
vaginas
I know.
reset at night or something. Like,
It
well,
does. It regrows. The
newsflash,
hymen regenerates. Yeah.
yeah, newsflash, we actually can use soap and shower. That's a thing. But also it makes it seem that our clients are dirty and disgusting. Like, what,
Right. It does.
don't you know that I enforce a shower? They walk into my place and I say, okay, shower time. I'm happy you're here, but shower time every fucking time. Like, what do you mean? What do you're expecting that all of my clients are dirty, that I'm dirty, that sex work is dirty, that sex is dirty, that being with another person and sharing intimacy is dirty, that paying for it is dirty. That's like
I know, and
it's
it's
the
really
stigma.
funny in a weird way how like they think that it's dirty if you are fucking a client, but like for all of the poly people who are just fucking randos, that's not dirty. I'm just like, oh, so like that's not dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we're seeing clients. That part's the dirty part.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I've encountered that so much where it's like you literally just saw your like, your other partner earlier today, and like that's
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Yeah,
But
and it was without a condom, right? Or without any
literally.
any like any kind of protection. And
Literally.
also like, yeah, the assumption that all of our clients are gross, dirty, old, nasty men who can't get laid. Like, that's also not true. I can tell you right
It's
now,
not.
some of
There's
the
some that are like
hottest
really hot. Like there's times where I'm
hot,
like, damn, like,
like
you know.
bodybuilder, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, you know, or like
and
some like somebody like around my age that's like, you know, beautiful. Like I saw
mhm.
someone recently that has beautiful curly hair, and I'm just like, damn, like you're hot, like
Seen
literally.
celebrities, you know, I can
Yep,
promise
same,
you,
same.
I promise you that it's like that whole the whole stigma of sex work just really ruins it for so many people.
I
And then
know.
yeah, like the civilian world, like I can tell you, in 15 years of sex work, I have never contracted an STI or STD.
Yeah, I think that we are much more, you know, we're on top of that shit. We're getting
We are
tested. We're,
we have to, because our bodies are our tools to work. Why the fuck wouldn't we take care of ourselves? Like, it makes no sense to me, you know? The second I get sick, I'm out for work. I don't get paid sick pay. I'm out that money, right? So why wouldn't I take care of my
yes.
body? Just like any other person
And
takes care of
also,
their
like,
body in
nobody
order to
wants,
work.
you know, a fucking client baby, you know?
That whole thing of like, oh, you gotta make sure, oh, I'm gonna throw away my condoms, like, oh,
Oh,
I
God,
can't
I'm going
leave
to
my
take it with
condom
me. I'm going
there.
to take my cum to
Babe,
go. Like, okay,
babe,
sir, take it with you.
put it in your pocket. There you go. No problem. But I promise you, nobody, including your fucking wife, wants your baby.
We don't want it. At the last in call that I ran an in call with a friend, we got this like needlepoint made that was like, please don't flush your condoms in the toilet, because dudes would be just so dumb
Hmm.
and do that because they're
We
just
have
like, I
one
need to
here
destroy my
too.
cum.
Yes, we have needlepoint that says "Don't flush condoms."
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes. Because like they're dumb and they think that like we're really going to be scooping out their cum and shoving it into us after they go.
I don't
Like,
even.
please.
I'm so happy it's in that condom, because then I can throw it away cleanly. I'm so happy it's not on me, babe. No, please, please, trust me. I
Yes, they're
don't
out of
want your cum.
control.
Oh, the delusions. And
They're
then the whole
so out
delusion
of
of like,
control.
oh, have you ever had a guy who's like, oh, it's so, I should do this. It's so easy. You should be paying me. It's so
Oh
easy. If you
my
sex up, you just
God.
lay there. Babe,
I hate
babe,
them.
you lay there. The clients lay there. They take advantage of starfishing the second they get in. They're like, oh yeah, I paid. Let's go, babe. So no, I promise you, I don't just lay there. I actually sweat. I am
Oh yeah, like I
constantly
mean, when I
sweating.
had longer hair, I used to have like hair like past my titties. It'd be like all caught up in my armpits and everywhere, and I'd be like soaking sweat. No, whenever they make that joke, I want to scream when they're just like, "I should be doing this," or like, "You should pay me." I'm like, "I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, "Please stop talking, sir." Like, y'all are A, delusional, and
Literally.
B, like, no one is going to pay you. Like the market that is straight women hiring men for sex is so minuscule, like
Hmm.
you have no idea.
Yeah,
It's
and
if you're yes.
they're hiring
No.
men based on way different things than you were thinking. Like, way different. We're
Yes.
hiring them on
Yes.
if they look safe to be around
Yes,
alone.
literally.
They were hiring. We do not want the overly muscly, glazed up, muscle pumping dude. Like, we want a soft man who also looks clean. We want somebody who's clean, good nails, good toenails. Um,
Oh, toenails, I know. That's a real
big
one. It's
time.
real.
Someone who knows how to dress nicely. Someone looks like that. If we're gonna spend the money on you, that you like take care of yourself. Someone who can
No, I
actually
know. They
type
think like, "Oh, I'm
sentences.
50 and I'm fit and I'm white." Like,
Oh my
yeah,
God. And then
there's
they
a lot
come
of
in
you
and
out
you're like,
there.
where's this fit? You have literally tits. Like, you have pigeon tits. You have pigeon chest. You're fit. You have boobs, babe. What do you mean
You're
you're fit and
pigeon.
50? I'm fit, athletic, and good looking,
I'm
gentleman.
clean. I'm clean. Very
The
clean. Very
second
clean
they
and
say
white.
the second they say gentleman, I'm like, right, dumbass. You're an asshole. I can tell you right now, you're a fucking entitled asshole. I'm a gentleman. The second I reject you for any reason, you're gonna call me fat bitch. I promise.
Oh, I know, for real. It's like they're like in our inbox being like, "I want to fuck you," and all this stuff, and then we push back or we reject them. They're like, "Well, I don't like fucking fat chicks anyways." It's like, "Oh, you don't?
Okay, but you
Interesting."
texted
So,
me. But you texted me.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, no, they're out of control. I know. There's an account, I think it's on Instagram, or it's like the Men of Tryst. where people like screenshot those types of tryst accounts, like straight men thinking that there is a
Yeah,
huge market for
yeah,
women to, yeah,
it's
which
so
I mean,
funny.
like, it makes me laugh.
Okay,
It's pretty funny.
so I have a game that I play with my friends where we'll go through the male side of tryst, and we will, just based on a picture, like on their, well, you'll click on their profile, and we'll just look at the banner picture, like the header picture. Just based on that, we will guess if they see just women or if they also see men. And I am right 100% of the time.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
I
And
can
it's
tell, I can
so they're
tell.
so ridiculous.
Like, there are very masculine men who see both male and female clients, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a little guess. I'll be like, oh, I don't know, maybe I think he is, and I'll be like, yes, he likes to see men, great. But the ones who are like always in some type of ill-fitting suit with really bad selfies, no lineup on their hair, no lineup on their beards, you can tell that like their hands haven't been scrubbed ever in their
Oh
life.
God, I hate
Those are
that.
straight men only seeing women who think that a woman is going to pay them $400 for the hour.
And that they can't host either.
Oh, and they can't host, and they always refer to us as sexy mamas or MILF, love MILF baddies, or I'll make you a squirt queen. I'm like, babe, we don't want you to talk to us like that. I promise. You don't
I
know. You
know.
don't. You like the female gaze. They just don't understand the female gaze at
And they don't
all.
also understand, like, I don't know, for some, most of them, I think they're just there to get off, you know, they're not actually thinking it's like a sustainable way to make money. But for those that are like actually thinking like, oh, I want to make money, it's like, no, honey, like, you're gonna have to fuck men if you want to make
Oh no,
money.
and that's
Like,
I've said that to clients like in when in person, and they will say some offhanded like thing like, oh, I could totally do this, blah 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 blah. I'll say something like, oh yeah, I
oh,
didn't know that you liked men. That's so
I didn't know that you
hot.
like sucking dick. Yeah.
That's great. I think you do well sucking dick. Yeah, totally. And then be like, oh no, 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 just women. Be like, oh no, sorry, babe. No
Oh,
one
no
gets
one's
paid.
hiring you, sweetie. I'm sorry
No.
about it.
I'd be like, do
Like,
you want to see what your competition is? I'll show you. And then I show them, and they're like, oh fuck, oh.
it's so ridiculous. No, it's real. I mean, I think that, you know, the ego is strong with them.
Yeah,
And
the delusional
yeah.
ego. Yeah, and it is really funny, and that's why a lot of straight men in straight relationships fail, because they have this inherent need of power play,
Yeah.
there we can't just be vulnerable and soft with each other and open with each other. There's always some kind of like one-upping kind of situation, and I have to be powerful, I have to be big, I have to be manly, I have to be in control. And they're just really missing out on so much depth and connection because of that. And it's sad. It goes back to the whole patriarchy really like choking them. It really they have the boot on their head, and they're just kissing it. They're like, thank you,
I know.
thank
I
you.
know.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's very wild. It's very, very, very wild. But, you know, it's interesting. And I do love how, like, you know, how many cool people that I've, like, met in this industry, like fellow sex workers and, like, yes, and some clients too. But it's just, it is
Mm-hmm.
wild. It's very wild, the amount of, just, I think that, like, a lot of them just don't understand, like, what this world is really about.
Yeah, and that's fine. They're just going to be left behind. Darwinism is happening in real time right now, and it's not based on any physical attributes as much as they'd like to think it is. Oh, she doesn't like me
Right.
because I'm short. She doesn't like me because I'm
Oh
like
God, I know.
fat.
Because
I
my
don't
dick's not
have.
big enough.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, we never have ever said that we give a fuck. about any
We
of
really
that.
don't. We really don't. The
No.
only reason I would care is if, like, either it's too big that I feel like it's going to be
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm going to need some warming up
You're gonna hurt.
situation,
Yeah.
or if I'm worried that it's too small that a condom won't fit on it. Those are the only
Sure.
two times that I'm just like worried about the size of your dick. Other than that, I could care
Yeah, but
less.
it has nothing
Could
to
not
do
care
with
less.
you as a person, right? It's just
No.
a one thing that we might have to keep in our mind, like, oh, okay, like watch that condom type stuff. But
Yeah, watch that condom.
in general, as a society, women have screamed from the top of our lungs for a long time. We don't care how tall you are. We don't care what the size of your dick is. We don't care what your freaking wallet size is. We don't care any about that. What we care about is your morals, how you stand up to injustice when it comes to your woman,
Yes.
how you deal in pressure situations, your emotional depth and maturity, your relationship with your mom. Like, I want to know if you have any female friends in your life or if you have sisters and how close you are with
Literally, that
them.
part. Do you
Like,
have any female friends in your life?
I actually had this one fuck buddy friends with benefits guy, and I love rage baiting him so much. So he falls for it every time. So I'll be like, do you wish you were more athletic? And he's like a hockey player. Or I'll be like, yeah, you seem like you don't have any sisters. And he doesn't. And that's the funny part. So there's so many other things that go into what makes a good man, that in Darwinism right now, with what's happening with the loneliness epidemic, they're being left behind because they really are putting importance on something that we've never said that we care about. But they're unwilling to do any changes when it comes to, or any work on themselves or growth when it comes to themselves. And that is the disconnect. That's the disconnect. They really just, the superiority complex that they have as a collective man, they aren't willing to see that they have any faults.
They don't want to be real with themselves. They don't want to do any self-reflection, anything like that. It's not, they don't like that. They do not want to do any of that, which is just unfortunate, because I feel, I don't know, my other, we'll probably wrap up in a little bit here, but my other job that I've done for a long time was working in mental health. And it is very interesting how many parallels there are to mental health work and sex work, because a lot of men refuse to seek therapy. So they'll use sex workers as their therapists. Yes, as proxies, which is not great for anybody involved.
No. And I do let men know, if they start going into the whole trauma, like, it's one thing to talk about themselves and tell and share about themselves to us. That's fine. That's great. I love to hear about your little hobbies and your job and whatever else. But when it turns into trauma dumping, that's where I let them know, like, babe, I am a professional, but I'm not that type of professional. Like, I have skills, I have qualifications, and that is not in my scope. If you are wanting somebody to talk to, I suggest maybe reaching out to someone like a counselor, and they'll be like, oh, I never thought about it. I'm be like, hey, you don't have to have you don't have to have a diagnosed mental illness to seek out therapy or counseling. You don't have to have,
you could just have regular anxiety or stress.
You don't have to have anxiety. You could just need somebody to bounce stuff off of, and so you don't feel like you're being gaslit by society or whatever it is, right?
No, for sure.
And especially men, sometimes you don't have a friend that you can trauma dump to, because a lot of the times, even within friendship, like female friendship relationships, you can't it's just not right to trauma dump to that person, right?
For sure.
So it's important to pay somebody with expertise in that type of situation so that they can help you through things in your life. And it's not fair to have, as men, to have no awareness that they are trauma dumping on women, that they're giving women extra labor, whether it be sex worker or non. It could be wife, girlfriend, sister, mother, giving us extra labor, especially in this patriarchy that we live in, is is the unawareness comes from privilege.
Yes, it's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
It's really, really fucked. It's really fucked up. But no, like I guess I want you to like, let folks know how they can like find you, how can people support or follow your work?
For sure. I am Lexci Lust on everything. Lexci. Except for Twitter or X because fuck Elon Musk.
Ugh,
Um,
yeah, literally, but not in a good way.
he banned me along with hundreds of others sex worker
Oh, that
accounts.
sucks.
So
It's happened a lot recently.
yeah, so if you as a client or a fan want to support sex workers, I suggest following most of us over onto Blue Sky. It is a non-censored platform that is run and created by the old creator of Twitter. So it's kind of the same format. Um, I'm also lexilust.com. You can find all of my links on the website as well as my articles. Um, and yeah, that's about it. Lexi Lust on everything.
Awesome. Well,
Hmm.
thank you for coming on here and
Thank
chatting with
you.
me. It was very, yeah, it was fun to chat with you and to hear your perspective and definitely a lot of commonality and, shared experiences.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Sorry, I like to go on tangents, and I'm very
No,
big-winded.
no, no,
I'm
you're
glad that
totally fine.
I'm,
It
I'm
was,
glad that we were able to talk today. Thank you.
yeah, me too. Okay, well, awesome, Lexi. Well, thanks so much.
Okay,
Have a good rest of your day, and I will get this uploaded and onto the places.
lovely. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good one
Okay,
too.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.